Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yenaham Atma Yatatanam Vinirmita Tatra Yatoyam Gunasarga Sangraha Saeva Mam Hantum Udaya Daswarad Upastito Yam Saranam Kam Asaya. Yena, by whom? Aham, I. Atma Ayatanam, resting place of all living entities. Vinir Mata, was created. Datta, by the Supreme Lord. Yata, on account of whom? I am, this. Gunasarga Sangraha, combination of different material elements. Sa, he. Eva, certainly. Mam, me. Hantum, to kill. Uday yada, prepared with weapons. Swara, completely independent. Uprastita, now present before me. I am, other. Sharanam, shelter. Come, unto whom? Asaye, I shall resort to. Translation. The planet Earth continued. My dear Lord, you are the complete conductor of the material creation. You've created this cosmic manifestation and the three material qualities, and therefore you have created me, the planet Earth. Protection. Purport. The planet Earth herein exhibits the symptoms of full surrender before the Lord. As stated, no one can protect the person who Krishna is prepared to kill, and no one can kill the person who Krishna protects. Because the Lord was prepared to kill the earth, there was no one to give protection. We are all receiving protection from the Lord, and it is therefore proper that every one of us surrender unto Him. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord instructs, Sarva Dharman Prityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshiyasyami Masacha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, my dear Lord, whatever I have, even my mind, the center of all material necessities, namely my home, my body, whatever I have in connection with this body, I now surrender unto you. You are now completely independent to act however you like. If you like, you can kill me, and if you like, you can save me, and in any case, I am your eternal servant, and you have every right to do whatever you like. Om Gyana Timarandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Yaksurindalatam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishnam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Shindu Vaivaccha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Navebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So, this is the planet Earth, who has withheld its Kamalu. In Bhagavad Gita, because I sent forth, man and demigods for sacrifice. By that sacrifice, this is the basis, actually, in Bhagavad Gita, the 18th chapter. Things that just move you from that consciousness that has kept you in the world. That I am the center, and Ishvara. You know this Sanskrit term, Ishvara? You know what it means? The controller. Garuda Prabhu, he told me the derivative. Vara means circumference, and Ish means controller. It's the controller of the circumference. You know, everything is within the circumference. Everything is within the energy of God. There's nothing outside of that. That's Brahma. And Ishvara is the controller of the circumference. It's the center point which is connected to everything. We are not Ishvara. We are not Ishvara. We are within the circumference. We are not the center, and we're not the circumference. We're a point within that, and we're meant for service. So this is the material consciousness. And culture means to move. That consciousness keeps us in the material world. Reflected on this body. And what's the connection between the soul and the body? It's the subtle element of false ego, ahankara. The ahankara somehow subtly changes our self-identity from what we are to what we're not, but we think we are. That's the false ego. And so therefore, how do we come into this conception? It's all this desire that I am the center, I am the controller. And therefore, when you are rooted in this conception, you're rooted in illusion. And you also suffer. Because suffering is not our actual situation. Suffering is our perceptual situation. It's like, yes, we suffer on a certain level when we have a dream and we dream we're being eaten by a tiger, but we're not actually being eaten by a tiger. We're suffering, but it's not actual. The suffering is perceptual. In other words, the cause of the suffering, I should say, we are suffering, but the cause is not actual. The cause is perceptual. And therefore, spiritual life has to begin when we loosen this conception. And the whole material world is moving to loosen this conception. And that's what happens here with the cow and the prayers. What happened to the cow? It was not recognizing God. And when you don't recognize God, you're in Maya. Why? Because you see what is that I am the enjoyer. Because it's so hard, infinitely hard, is to love God. Because if you don't love God, you will not want that person to be superior. The only person you want to be superior is someone you love. If you don't love the person, you'll be envious of the person. Like a mother, they love the child, so they don't mind that the child is great, the child does this. You love your guru. You don't mind that the guru is sitting on the throne. The guru's getting all the jais. The guru's getting all the garlands. You don't mind. You don't love the person, even if they're qualified, then you object. So that consciousness has to be lucid. And the way it's lucid is we fail. That you can't actually develop a higher consciousness is completely diminished. That's why the process of dying is so powerful spiritually. Because it's God announcing to you the illusion is over. You don't have an ounce of control. And if you have some bit of spirituality within your heart, if you have some bit of spirituality within your heart, then you'll, at that time, you'll take shelter of God. I surrender. I surrender. You are the controller. You're not only the controller, but you're the shelter controller. You're the maintainer controller. You're the lover controller. I surrender. And that means, even if you're taking my body, it is best. And when you do that, then death is finished. Because death is an illusion. It's the illusion of material existence for one whose identity is I am the enjoyer and controller, because that identity has no substance. It's not real. And something that's not real will dissipate. You can't maintain. It's just like a lie is not real. So if you're lying, you can't maintain it in court. The truth, you can just stick to it and stick to it and stick to it and stick to it. But the lie doesn't last. So the lie of this illusion, it doesn't last. And therefore, Krishna makes arrangements for us to fail. Makes arrangements for us to fail, to succeed. Because success is changing that consciousness. And therefore, we'll see in the Bhagavatam and other spiritual stories that people who are proud, their material things will dissipate. It's external. It's not you. And it will fail. That's the beauty of the aging process, which is non-beauty. The aging process is God speaking to us. The gray hairs, hey, you're not staying, this is not, don't enjoy on this temporary platform because it's filled with dualities. And then what happens is you start to get the necessary knowledge to develop your relationship with Krishna. The necessary knowledge to develop your relationship with Krishna is that I am not the controller, I am not the body, I am not God, and God is not material. It has to weaken. And therefore, you can give music how we walk in the material world sometimes. Dun, 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 and then smash. But there's no smash. One is a servant of Krishna. Because all circumstances are without duality. If your objective is to serve Krishna, every circumstance is equal. It's just a different opportunity to serve. It's just Krishna saying a different thing. Serve in the kitchen, go out on kirtan. It's all the same for one who has service. But if it's ego, if it's my enjoyment, then they all become different. I like this, I don't like this. Everything becomes different. Every circumstance. Prabhupada was in Delhi during the war, the Indo-Pakistan War. And in the war, in the evening they shut out all the lights so no one can bomb the city. If there's no lights, then the planes can't see. It was that serious. And they asked Prabhupada, what would you do if a bomb came? He said, Hare Krishna. And what would he do if $1 billion came? Hare Krishna. It's all the same. It's all an opportunity to see Krishna. So here, sometimes the powerful ruler has to say, no, you're not in charge. That's what the danda is of the ruler. A citizen saying, no, I'm independent. That consciousness is not good. I'm independent means what? I'm independent means that the ultimate authority is my desires. And the reality is what? This is what I am. I'm part of something greater. I want to serve. I don't want to be what I'm part of. So when you have that material consciousness, that's the law of karma. Krishna sees you're acting against love. He will arrange a circumstance in the future to help you overcome that consciousness. So here the king sometimes to the citizen, no, you are not independent. Your desires are not supreme. You want me to prove it? I will cut off your head if you do that again. This is not politically correct. I will cut off your head if it happens again. I will cut off your head if it happens again. For many reasons. One, you are imposing your desires over the welfare of others. And that desire is against your consciousness. So now he surrenders. That's what happens. When the false ego gets crushed, your ears open up. If you have any spirituality, your ears open up to what? To what you've heard from the Bhagavatam, from the Gita, from so many books, from so many times. You'll open your ears to hear it. We were explaining yesterday the Kaliya, the hoods represent the false ego. So Krishna is crushing the false ego. But there's so many hoods. So you fail one way and the ego will come up in another way. And then when that's crushed, the ego will come up in another way. But eventually, all vestiges of false ego will be crushed by Krishna. Because when you're on your deathbed, and you have control over nothing, then the mercy of God is then you'll say, ah, I'm not the body. Krishna is God. somehow the person lived because he got shot by an Indian dumb bullet. You ever heard of the smart weapons? They have these weapons. Dumb bullet. It went through his body and it missed every single organ by a hair and came out the other side. He should have been dead. It missed every. And what is happening? Yes. Oh yes, Krishna is God. I see. It's not me. I failed. I can't control. Prabhupada calls them material protective agents. They all will fail. What you think will protect you will fail. So now he surrenders. And that's the ultimate consciousness that we have to have. That when death comes,